or expansion.
Senator Omidvar.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is for Senator Gold. Senator Gold, international organizations, international NGOs have been on the Hill. We've met with them, you've met with them, I know, and they have told me about the resounding success of Canada's feminist foreign policy, particularly in regard to Canada's investment in women-led grassroots organizations. Women affected by war and gender-based violence are now actively involved in processes enhancing their laws and structures, and therefore they are more secure and safe. So proof positive that our feminist foreign policy is working. And yet, last year, the government reduced its overseas development assistance by a full 15%. That is a huge cut. Given the effectiveness of women peace builders in laying a foundation for lasting peace, can you tell us if the government will reconsider this decision and prioritise women's organisations?
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you, Senator. I did indeed, as many did me. I cannot comment on any potential future budgetary acquisitions, but I can say that the government has advanced its targets and priorities that is set out in the Feminist International Assistance Policy. Will continue that important work. It's worth mentioning, and it's no comfort to the organizations, but the decrease reflects also an increase during the pandemic, and so it is important to recognize that that funding overall has not been has remained more stable. There's always more that's needed to do the important work, and the government is committed to improving how its international assistance is delivered using a feminist, human rights-based and inclusive approach.
Senator Omidvar.
Thank you, Senator Gold, and that is good information. And yet the stakeholders tell me that there are factors that complicate their work, climate change being one of them, and women being increasingly at risk because of the cultural expectations, norms and structures of the societies they live in. And I would like to ask you to please convey to the government that increasing climate finance commitments to the Global South would be a wise move in order to fulfill its feminist foreign policy objectives.
Senator Gold.
Indeed, thank you for that, and it's important. But as again, just to be a little more precise about my earlier answer, the government has actually doubled its international climate finance from $2.65 billion between 2015 and 2021, pre-pandemic, to $5.3 billion from 2021 through to 2026. And I understand the government will continue to support women's leadership in decision-making and climate change action and ensure that at least 80% of climate projects integrate gender equality in line with Canada's feminist international assistance policy.
Senator Dagenet.